Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Hello and welcome to Forged from Iron. Please don't forget to like, comment on and share this stream to your social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support. We are here for another episode of Academy Talk regarding the FA Youth Cup final, which takes place tomorrow as we record this. But by the time you see it, it's later on today. And this episode will be an hour after the episode that you will see with my brother, which I recorded yesterday as we record this. But it'll actually be 2 days ago from when you see this. All clear?
No.
Okay. Anyway,
I've got a question. I've got a question.
What?
What are these?
They're called ears.
Right. I've got a question.
Okay.
All right. I'm pretty sure.
I know what it's going to be. I know what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well, I want to know where they are.
Listen, I can edit this bit out. I can.
Yeah, I want to know where my ears are, Rob. In that picture, where are my ears? Why do I look like I've got no ears? I've got ears. They're here. Look.
I'm gonna have to keep the thumbnail now because you've drawn attention to it. So
well,
I'm now going to have to
I thought I'd take the piss out of it, but I want to know why. I know you say I can cut these bits out.
It's the software.
Well, when you say I can cut these bits out, I didn't think you meant me fucking ears, Rob.
It was too late for me to do anything about it. I mean, now I'm going to have to keep that thumbnail. I mean, I just put that in as a little bit of filler, but you've now drawn attention to it. Anyway, should we crack on with...
I do have ears. Anyway.
He does have ears.
Let's talk about the kids. And
we are here to discuss the under-18s who have absolutely romped away with the league in the Southern Division. But they have the small matter of the FA Youth Cup final, which is a trophy we last won in 1999 with a team that included the likes of Michael Carrick, the likes of Joe Cole. And here we are. It's taken 24 years for us to get here again. No longer is it a two-legger. It's held at the home of our opponents, Arsenal Football Club, the Emirates Stadium. 7,000, we have an allocation of tickets. I think we could have sold more than that quite easily, Duke. I don't know about you, but I think
we had that at the home ground, Rob. That was our semi-final capacity because they only opened the main stand, if you can call a fucking bowl a main stand, but the the stand
the
behind
below
the dugout.
director's box. Yeah,
we filled that. It was 7,000 that was sat in that. As far as I was aware, that was what we had.
Well,
so
we could have sold more than that as well. I believe.
Well, mate, we could have sold out the entire lower tier all the way around that stadium. I feel if given enough time to, with the tickets on sale. There's no doubt. I mean, at £5 a ticket, it's fantastic value to see the stars. Well, the possible stars of tomorrow, if you know what I mean. So it's listen. There was a lot made, wasn't there? You and I made these comments. The sale of Harrison Ashby, the sale of Manny Longello, Agialese, Pierre Equa, all leaving the club during the transfer window. And we argued that, of those, that Harrison Ashby was a key one. Obviously, he's gone to another Premier League club. I don't think he's made a start up there yet, to be honest. But then he probably wouldn't have made any here, let's not lie. But there was a reason we let them go. And that is this current crop of kids.
Crap.
Yeah, that's what I said. This current crop of kids coming through. The likes of the young lad is it Bartram? Yep. Bartram, I think his name is at the back. You've got Ollie Scholes, who we've seen so far this season in the Europa League game that we played against FSB. Lewis Orford, he went with the boys, didn't he, out to one of the away games, I believe it was, before he played in the game against FSB. The highly spoken about Callum Marshall, Patrick Kelly, Kujua. And then we've also got, Ryan Regan Clayton. And who's the other young lad? I don't think he's in the... Oh, no, he is. Kalen Casey. These are all highly thought of youngsters. Obviously, we know Divine Mabama. He's played in the first team so far, a couple of times. He's got... I can't remember how many... Someone said he's got so many goals in all competitions this year. Including the different levels, because he has spent a lot of time in the under-21s.
He has, yeah.
Premier League 2. But he qualifies for the under-18s because he was under-18 when the season started. In the same way, a couple of the others, although they're 19 now or 18 now, they can still play in the under-18s because they were under-18 when the season started. Everyone knows has been watching the channel for a while. We've spoken about my brother and some of the developments of these kids, be it at APD, Advanced Player Development, when these youngsters were there. And obviously his time when he worked with the club, he speaks very highly of these kids. He's a very, very proud human being. At the semi-final, we all went over. You were there. I met you, your brother. My brother was at the other end with his wife, who also works for APD as well. So, very proud moment for those guys to see these kids out there on the pitch. And as I say, we've been led to believe that this is the current crop of youngsters that we made space for by letting the likes of Ashby, Longello, etc., go. So, I've seen these guys play a few times this season, not as many times as some others, but I've seen them play. I've been very, very impressed by what I've seen. The young lad's Skulls really, really does make me sit up and take notice. Hopefully we find a pathway for them, Rob, because this is what we've been led to believe. So hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, am I right in thinking we've won the Premier League?
We wrapped that up by beating Arsenal pretty much.
2-0. 10 changes to that team that played the week before, and I think that was 8 changes from the team that beat Southampton in the semi. But I believe we've won Premier League South. Am I right in thinking that we now play the winners of the Premier League North, and the winners of that then play European football next year? Am I right?
Well, my brother references this in the video that we recorded yesterday, but is actually an
I haven't
hour
watched
ago.
that because it's not gone out yet. What's the matter with
No,
you?
yeah,
So you
wibbly
sit down,
wobbly
just tell me.
timey wimey. But no, he said that that's his belief as well, that we're gonna play Manchester City to sort of find out who is the cream of the crop, who is the governor of England
And
under
if I
18.
am right in what I've said about we qualify for the UEFA Youth League next year.
Okay,
Do you know who's in the UEFA Youth League Cup final this year?
Real Madrid. I don't know.
Our opponents in the Europa Conference League.
What?
AZ
Alkmaar.
Alkmaar. Alkmaar are
Okay.
in the final of the UEFA Youth Cup this year. Obviously, you know, you and I have spoken about the young lad on Twitter, Jacek Kulik. He's the
Kulig,
young
yep.
lad that does the youth stuff
Yep.
across there, and he's been championing a lot of these youth players at Alkmaar. Very good side. My concern is this team that we've got. Okay, this crop, as we've already mentioned, Divine Mubama is now 18. He won't qualify for this lot next year. I think there's 2, maybe 3 others that don't qualify next year
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
of
mate, it's
their
no doubt.
ages. It's going to be a brand new side that are going to be competing in Europe. It's not even like these guys have qualified for Europe and then get the benefit of being able to play in Europe. They're going to have other people stepping in. I know it's just
Yep.
the way it works. I'd be a bit peeved with that, Rob, to be honest with you. I'd be a
Yeah,
bit
but
like, what's this
they
about?
can play in the Europa League when we win the Conference League this season. You know.
I like your thinking.
Anyway,
I like your thinking.
you referenced the Southampton game. Obviously, we was both there. My brother was
Yeah.
there, and I asked my brother as well. Who were the standout players for you in that particular match as for West Ham that you think might be?
It's hard to look away. It's hard to look away from Obama. You know, he spanks a hat trick, Rob. I mean, you can't look past that. I was really again the 2 Irish lads. They're both Irish, aren't they? I think it's Patrick Kelly and Callum Marshall.
Yep.
I can't remember. I think it's Callum Marshall was the one that we bought in this season. Was it him?
Did we bring both of them in this season? I'm not sure. I know they both
I
come from
think
Northern
one of
Ireland.
them, there was a bit of a deal made out of, and I saw some bits on Twitter. I think it was Callum Marshall.
Okay.
Again, if you take Mubama to one side, and we've seen quite a lot of him because we have seen him in the first team and in cups, etc.
Yeah.
Again, a reason Odebeko was allowed to move on, you know, because this lad coming through. So again, if you look past him, you know, Kelly and Marshall, I thought looked absolutely brilliant in the semi-final. I think Patrick Kelly's a central midfielder, if my memory serves, and Callum Marshall plays a little bit further forward. Just outstanding. I mean, he was. I think Callum Marshall was playing more of a. It says here he's a forward, but I think he was playing more as an attacking midfielder. He was a little bit deeper because I think we had Kujua and Mubama as they played more of a front 2 with Marshall more in behind, and again the link up play with Patrick Kelly was just brilliant. It was. I mean, listen, it's difficult because Southampton are one of the teams that have beaten us this season.
Yes.
We've lost three games in all competitions, or 4 games in all competitions.
I know we
and
lost 3 in the league.
3 in the league, and I think we lost 1 in another cup somewhere down the line. I think. I might be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking. Southampton were one of the sides to beat us, and we absolutely put them to the sword. And like I say, Kelly's link-up play with Callum Marshall really stood out for me. The 2 fullbacks, you know, Batram and Skulls, again, did stand out. You know, their ability to read the game. We saw it on Sunday. You and I have spoken about it in the Bournemouth review, the way that Declan Rice steps into the challenges. He did it against Ghent as well. steps into the challenge and wins possession, but doesn't just win possession, takes possession of the ball and drives on. Vladimir Soufal did it for Paqueta's goal against Bournemouth. Rice did it for Fornals' scorpion kick. I noticed the two young lads at fullbacks for us doing exactly the same thing against Southampton. They stepped into the space, stepped into the pocket, won the ball, and put us on the front foot. And again, it's the sort of thing that excites us as West Ham fans, Rob. Do you know what I mean? With these players that have that ability. And for these, I mean, okay, they're only playing against lads their own age, and you and I have discussed this at length over the 2 years on this video, that the playing against kids your own age, once you get to a certain level, let's say the under-21s, I don't believe the Premier League 2 should exist. These kids should go out on loan, get the experience of playing up against seasoned professionals, those that have been around. You know, you and I watched the kids last year.
Yeah.
Before last season started at Ebbsfleet, which was down the road from my old pub, and obviously down the road from where you live. And they just looked out of place at times against Ebbsfleet. They were being bullied, but that can only benefit the youngsters. They have to go out on loan, and this crop, I'd like to see some of them go out and get loan football. I mean, Jermaine Defoe went out at 16, 17 years old, didn't he?
I think Bournemouth, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's key for development. You look at all the big name stars that have come through over the years. David Beckham went out on loan to, was it Port Vale, I believe? Preston. He went on loan to Preston. Mark Noble, he went out on loan. These names went out on loan, got the experience before they come back and played in our first team. So don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to wish the careers away of these young lads and going back to the Youth Cup final. We've beaten this side twice this season. We beat them last week, in fact. 2-0, 10 changes. I expect Kevin Keane to put the same team out that beat Southampton in the semi. So I'm very excited. I'm taking. I know you're going tomorrow. I know several people that are going tomorrow. I'm taking the kids and the missus. Logan after watching us play Ghent, is very, very excited about going to see us and have a chance of winning a trophy. I mean, I was 18 months. I don't remember the FA Cup final. I remember the Inter 2 Bob. I've seen playoff finals where I've seen us lift the trophy. This could be something special for him. It'll be special for me to watch because this is my club. And I'll support at all levels if that, what I mean, if the opportunity arises. So to be able to go would be, or to be able to go is fantastic. To be able to go and the chance that there being a trophy presentation to us at the end of it, it's big, regardless of what level it is at the club.
Yeah. Are there any players, and I asked this question of my brother yesterday, so I'll do the same with yourself if you don't mind. And I appreciate that it might be putting you on the spot, but are there any players that you are aware of that play for Arsenal that you think, that they're a bit tasty and we need to have our A game on to keep them at bay?
There's a couple of names that I've heard banded around.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure what to make of it. He's a young lad, Sebastian Ferdinand. Again, I only know this because I've heard his name banded around on other streams that he's spoken of quite highly. And there was a striker. I can't think of his name now. It's gone. Let me go over and.
Player that my brother mentioned was a guy called Kozia Dubry.
Mario,
he's a right winger. Mario.
Yes. That's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy that I've heard mentioned. Yes. That's him. Yeah. Again, I can't say that I have an extensive knowledge. Maybe it might be something that I maybe spend some time next season looking into. Um, I enjoy the stuff as I mentioned earlier about Jacek Kulik, the guy on on Twitter. I like following his stuff. I like looking at the stats. Came across the young lad Karim Adeyemi, who's now at Dortmund. I sang his praises quite highly last season, obviously with you in videos. Florian Wirtz, the young lad, Mönchengladbach, I think he was at. Again, these young players in Europe that are some fantastic talents. So I might do a little bit more of paying a bit more attention to some of the youngsters coming through. But those, as I say, Ferdinand was a name that I've mentioned, and I remember it because it did make me. I was like, is he a relation? Let me have a look. I couldn't find nothing, to be honest, because it's only on. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Obviously, he's only one of the young lads. So I couldn't find out, but it did. It's a reason it caught my attention. And then, as you say, the other lad, Dubry. I mean, I go back to our team. It's full of talent. I touch wood. I think we will have enough to get past them tomorrow, as we record this tonight, as it goes out. Yeah,
yeah. Final thing I'll end with then. Give us your score prediction. How's this game going to play out?
Well, listen, we scored a bagful, didn't we, in the semi-final? Like I say, we were both there. It was fantastic to watch. Arsenal did beat City, Manchester City in the where did they beat them in the semi-final? Although they did have a man sent off, the young lad. But I think it's Manchester City under-18s that are they top of their table?
They are. Yep.
So it's going to be them versus us, if that's the way I see it. Again, that's a decent feat for Arsenal to actually get that win if they're top of their league. But then I don't know the level of the play in that, you know what I mean? So it's difficult to get too excited. If we go out and we play the sort of football that I saw from this team against Southampton, again, we could be talking a hatful of goals, Rob. I don't think Arsenal will want to be embarrassed, but the Southampton have got a good side. Again, we made 10 changes. We had nowhere near even probably our second string strongest side out against Arsenal, and that's no disrespect to the boys that played in that game. I would expect probably 4-0.
Oof, comprehensive.
And it'll be a statement made as well by the kids.
But just to sort of, before we sort of knock it on the head, and I mentioned this on the recording I did with my brother yesterday that went out an hour ago. Mark Robson, Mark Phillips, and Kevin Keane have done an amazing job with these kids, isn't it? And they've obviously they're going to set the ones that are going to move on to the 21s. Hopefully, they've set them on the path to first team appearances down the track.
Listen, there's nothing stopping these lads other than themselves right now. If they want to learn and they want to develop, we've had the conversation, Rob, about money plays a massive part in football now, and there are some of the youngsters in the under 21s that are earning $5-6 grand a week. Some of them they're earning comparable money to those in League Two, League One. This is the same sort of money as first team players down there. It doesn't give them the encouragement to go out and get a loan contract on their CV, to go out and play 8 months down at Deepdale with Preston, or going out on loan to Canere Frontale, something. You see what I mean? It doesn't do these kids any good to think that should be what I do. Whereas the opposite is entirely true. It will help them. It will help their development. Like I say, we go back to Beckham and the likes of Defoe and those that went out on loan to learn their trade and ply their trade against seasoned professionals. I just hope that the likes of Kevin Keane and Phillips and those that are all down there turned around and said to these guys, you know what, at this stage of your career, money isn't everything. If you can develop as footballers, the money will come later on. You don't need to be earning it now. Like 5-6 grand a week for an 18-year-old, I think is obscene. I mean, we don't help ourselves when we gave Reece Oxford at 16 years old a fucking £30,000 contract, and then he decided that I've made it, and he's now over at ARSWHU in Germany doing Jack Diddley squat. When he, talent-wise, he was better than Declan Rice, but Declan Rice wanted it more. So that tells you. Stop paying the kids so much money. Make them go and learn their trade. Make them earn their money. That's for me. I just hope that that's what these boys have done. These guys have got a good brain in their head, a good families behind them that will encourage them to learn their trade and as much of their trade as they can against older pros and learn different aspects of the game rather than playing against kids their own age all the time, because you don't learn nothing from that. Especially, let's be honest, in an under-18 side that have absolutely pissed away the opposition this season.
On that, we are in complete agreement, my friend. Right, we're going to knock it on the head there. This has been episode 2 of the FA Youth Cup final episode of Academy Talk. And Duke, I'd like to thank you very much indeed for your time in this matter. And I'm sorry I cut your ears off.
I've still got them. It's fine.
I don't think it looks that bad.
Is it the thing out of Total Recall? The geezer out of Total Recall that's got no ears. He's like a robot.
Oh, dear. Anyway, please don't forget to like, comment on, and share this stream to your social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Make sure you hit the bell icon for alerts on new content. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you very much indeed for your support in this matter. So we're now going to disappear, and we're now going to do the recording of the Liverpool preview, which will go out tomorrow at 5 p.m.
5 o'clock.
So, yeah, there you go.
Tonight at 5 o'clock.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back.
Do you know what? This is about to be my 5th video that I've recorded this evening alone. Let's go.
You ain't getting paid overtime, mate. Let me tell you.
Don't get paid.
Come on, you Irons. And don't forget, I probably also should say, don't forget to support the Iron Supporting Food Banks charity. Forged from Iron is proud to support Iron Supporting Food Banks. They are a group of West Ham United fans and friends inspired by the work of other football fan food banks around the country. They collect food and cash donations from Newham Food Bank in Beckton, who supply 7 distribution centres in the borough, 7 days a week, and hand out several hundred 3-day emergency food packs every month to families in need. They are also working with other groups to improve conditions for vulnerable adults and children in the Newham community. They are supported in their efforts by West Ham United Football Club, the WHU Foundation, LS185, London Legacy Development Corporation, Newham Council, the Met Police, Spire London East Hospital, Expedient Security, and a large number of West Ham and football fans. You can help by making a donation to their Just Giving page. You will find the link to this in the description section of the video details in this stream. Thank you for your support. Come on, you Irons. Jesus loves you.